Hey, I'm here to give you feedback on your run. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to DM me directly or ping me in your RIP thread. Um, just looking at lock screens, I think most of these look very good. This one's the only one that's questionable. Um, Instead of the lecture of like what reset efficiency should look like, I'd be curious to hear about your thought process in your RIP thread, or um, like DM'd to me, so that way, like, we could have that conversation in a more meaningful, like, tone, I guess. I don't think that this is real. Generally, well, hold on. So you're getting essentially two spikes here. One of them is like a real BT spike. The one over here is like a dungeon or something. Generally speaking, if you see right side, like the orange part, like the part that you're supposed to read for preemptive and BT and all that, on the right side of your screen, then that's not a good reading. However, if you keep scanning, that's like clearly a BT spike. So that's a good job recognizing that through like through that other spike, but that also means that it's slightly harder to check for as well. You kind of just have to know the chunk that it's in. I don't know why you throw out the sand there. I think that that's a bad habit because, especially in spruce, you may need to elevate your TNT a lot of the time. I mean, spruce for one, but just in general as well. You may need to elevate TNT so that way you can like get more wood. And I think that like this would be a situation where I would think that that would be a good idea. Also, like, this placement seems a little funky to me. I didn't see the third tree initially. Like, it's just weird that three of those trees spawned together. Do you see that? Or was that just like a see two trees, third one bonus kind of deal? Nah, you saw it. Never mind. That's actually really good placement then. I didn't see that actually. I'd have gone back there. Not the cleanest crafting ever, but that's okay. I'm kind of confused as to why you got out of your boat for this. Because there's not really an indication of this being really good. Let's see. Like, from here, there's just a whole lot of nothing. So if this is kind of like a dig down kind of play, you gotta get your gravel first. Like, if you see this, you see no magma or anything, but you do see like that this may be something that you want to go for, you gotta get your gravel first instead of like checking to see if this is something that you want to play. I'd love to hear the thought process behind this as well, so that way I could like give more meaningful feedback. But I will say that if you didn't know this, this ends up being a pretty good play, because this pillar here is an indicator of cave remnant. Basically what that means is Seed tried to generate a cave and also a ravine at the same time, and this is kind of the game's like logic behind like trying to generate both for some reason. And that just means that there's a cave over there. That doesn't necessarily mean lava, but deep caves sometimes have lava. Especially over surface caves. That's a crazy find. I don't really trust any of this over there, so I think that this ends up being a very good play. I think that you could have like gone like here. I think that this still looks good for it, but over here is definitely safer. Learn 2x1. That's a pretty quick spike. Is that the fort as well behind it? Jesus. It's only visible for a quick moment. Nope, that's just the bridge chalice. This was a very good route to the bridge, by the way. The only thing that I could argue would be better is like a more linear grabbing of chests. Like if you just grab the chest there, then you wouldn't have to really do anything else on this side of the bastion. But, you know, there is also something to be said for like gold trades immediately. But also, it just ends up not mattering because the only reason that you would do that kind of thing is for gold if you see, like, a bunch of pigs. I think, in this case, like, if you want to get the whole chalice, you can. Like, turn all 15 of those into gold. Craft whatever you need to, and then grab that last one. I think that that would be totally fine as well. It's like slightly slower, but slightly more consistent as well. Ways that you could avoid... I mean, first of all, really good DK. Hogland proof variation is very good here, obviously. But some minor improvements with the route. The way that you broke the gold, great, perfect. And then it really gets into it here. So you have that guy there who's not aggro, who won't be aggro until you break gold again. I think it's fine if you hand him a gold, like right-click gold on him. And also, throw it over so that way he becomes distracted, so that way you can get this hole off cleaner. Because like when he cancels your mining there, that's why you take that hit. Because you're not throwing gold when the pigs are right up on you. It's kind of a Herculean effort to get, like, one other guy. But, I mean, it also is kind of worth it. Since DK is such, like, a gold-heavy route. Oh, shit. Hi there. I missed that. I mean, both of us did. Used Pyrade for it. That's sick proximity. Definitely home portal. Also, why I don't generally recommend you go caving, so that way home portal plays. Oh, fuck me. Doesn't even matter. Anyway, don't generally recommend caving, so that way home portal like is available. Also, you're about to leave with an FNS and fire charges there. I think I saw you throw out fire charges earlier in the run. Pick one, get rid of the other. I generally prefer fire charges because they'll keep coming throughout trades. And I can get rid of the FNS as early as soon as I light the portal in the overworld. Other than that, you know that your Pearl Hang is good, so that means that you can just raise RD and, like, kind of organize stuff from there. Like, your RD is on solid ground. That's crazy, though. There's a couple of blazes, but none of them are in really good positions. I think that this would be one of the forts that you want to do this way earlier at. Like, if you're looking for a spawner, that's fine, but it is also objectively slower. The reason why I would recommend, like, a dynamic here is because, like, it's a pretty open fort. Like, yes, there's, like, some, like, instances where they go into walls where the spawners could be, but I think that you could also just get a ton of, blazes here. The only downside is since the floor is so high in a lot of the fort, you can't really deal with, withers any other way but killing them without them coming back eventually. So at that point, it's just a comfort play. Blaze betting. Okay, so if you want to craft stuff between, like overlapping crafting stuff, I'd do that between blaze hits. That's something I'm working on just because it's, like, kind of awkward with the blaze fight. I don't know. But it actually gets a lot easier when you use this tab here. So that way it gets you your glowstone, bricks, coarse dirt, and wool. Because at that point, it's just like you click what you need to and then start crafting between hits. That overlaps your axe CD as well. However, I would just recommend... Well, what's your explosive count? I'd just recommend, like, getting your stuff together for blaze betting. Because, like, you have plenty of explosives. You have, like, what, 8? Yeah. 5 bed, 2 anchor. Well, I guess for 0. That's a comfort thing at that point. Don't do this. You're losing height. You may get caved easier. Just put a block, like, where you put that obsidian. Like, right here. And then just build the rest of the portal. Like, breaking stuff's just slower than placing stuff. And breaking stuff. Wait. Breaking and placing is slower than just placing stuff. That's what I'm trying to say. It's early for me. Have your hotbar set earlier in the split. Eat in the portal. Good. Yeah, again, just have the hotbar set up before you blind or anything. Okay, you don't need to go to 31. Like, right here would have been totally fine. Right here would have been totally fine as well. And especially, well, I mean, I guess you're reading your C counter, but I'd just get super sketched out as soon as I see soul sand. Like, I'm not taking any type of, like, falling into anything. And it ends up being, like, time loss as well. Offhand, like, when you're building stuff in walls, offhand your obby, especially when you have a diamond pick. So that way you can just instantly, like, place everything, and then the mistake with the diamond pick won't be as, like, punishing. I don't know, like, your hardware or anything, but that just didn't look like a spike to me. And you're, like, kind of hard committing to this direction, even though it's not great. It's somewhere down mid. It's like a chunk off of, like, mid. Yep. There wasn't a ton of time to clear inventory as much as you'd like during this run, but you could have done it while purling to second portal cords. Hold on. Oh, this is something that happens kind of regularly. This could have been prevented. If you flip around like turn behind you when you're purling, chances are, and I mean, you can kind of see it, actually. Basically what happened was you hit this ledge here, which allowed, like, it didn't let you pearl clip, essentially, because of this ledge. There's a block where you're trying to, like, throw the pearl through. And that spits you back down here, but this is just straight up preventable by turning the other way. So, like, instead of facing towards the pillars, you face away from the pillars, because generally speaking, the terrain behind you will not be as high as the terrain in front of you. And islands tend to generate with, like, the fountain being the peak. Generally speaking, of course, there's exceptions. But especially, like, this far out, it'd be really weird to have, like, this behind you. So this is, like, that's just preventable anyway. And because of that, you now have no more health. And you take damage there as well. So this is preventable. It sucks that, like, you lost the run to it, but you learn and you continue. But yeah, I think that this was a really well played run overall. Yeah, I think really there's a lot of micro things that you can improve, but I guess the big one in terms of other than, like, the pearl clipping is just, like, the preemptive spikes. If you don't get a good spike, it's totally fine to raise your RD by 1 if that means, like, you have another idea, right? That doesn't really fuck with the preemptive reading all that bad, and, like, will generally get you a better reading as well. So that's my feedback.